Hello and ni hao from the beautiful city of Wuxi, China. Today I would like to introduce you to one of the, if not the most successful foods and Chinese export goods that have ever existed. And no, it's not fortune cookies. Those were invented in California in the early 20th century. Both Chinese and Japanese immigrant groups claim to have popularized them. By the way, that is most likely why there are no Chinese restaurants in China that offer fortune cookies. Today I'm talking about healthy foods that almost all of you have eaten before. And most people love at least one of these foods. And there is an amazing story coming along, and with that, a whole lot of fascinating history. I think this topic is really hot, but let me start from the beginning. It all began with the mandarin, or tangerine, as many people call it. It is historically documented that citrus fruits were grown and cultivated in China more than 4,000 years ago. The sweet, sour, bitter, but always very aromatic fruits have always found their followers there. In this way, citrus fruits are also very much part of Chinese art, in paintings as well as in poems or in the form of calligraphy. But the fruits were also very well received in the West. We have sayings like squeeze like a lemon, and even named the color orange after them. Wait a moment. Didn't orange have a name before? What do you call it before that? And in Chinese, it's also confusing with the names. Chuzi is tangerine colored. Chengzi is orange fruit colored. So both are orange but different colors. Anyway, tangerines were documented in China 3,200 years ago. And bitter oranges are even being documented for over 4,000 years. In general, the tangerines are the linchpin in the diversity of all citrus fruits today. Without the tangerine, there would be almost nothing except maybe bananas. Tangerines spread relatively quickly in Southeast Asia and India. Even in Japan, over 1,000 years ago, the sweet fruits were cultivated in many southern prefectures. A real export hit and power fruit. And the mother of practically everything else. Let me explain. The orange is a crossbreed between a tangerine and a pomelo. So without tangerines, no oranges. Incidentally, in some areas of Germany, the orange is also called Apfelsine, from the Low German Apelsina, whereby Sina stands for China and orange is therefore called apple from China by some German people. Funny, ain't it? So tangerine plus pomelo is orange, but it goes even further. The back crossbreed of orange and pomelo is a grapefruit. So tangerine plus pomelo is orange, and then orange plus pomelo is grapefruit. Incidentally, grapefruits are smaller than pomelos, which are really big bangers, and are not as juicy but also not as bitter as grapefruits. In general, I hated grapefruits as a child. Now I think they're great. And there are worse things. Bitter oranges, for example. In southern China, bitter oranges also emerged, which are in Germany called Pomeranze, which is where the German term Landpomeranze, which means country wench, originates from. They are, so the bitter oranges, not the country wenches, also like oranges, a hybrid of tangerine and pomelo, the evil twin of the sweet orange, so to speak. So, tangerine plus pomelo, as an accident, is bitter orange. And the fun crossbreeding game continues. Who wants to play again? Who doesn't have it yet? Let's just cross the Chinese bitter orange with the Indian citron. Often, nothing good comes out of many things between India and China, but this time, bitter orange plus Indian citron is our ever popular lemon. Sour makes fun, eh? Lemons are documented around the year 1000 prevalent in both China and Europe, and probably came to Europe via India as the very first citrus fruit. So we note that tangerine had its non-existing fingers involved everywhere, or its blossoms, and we gave it all kinds of oranges, including blood oranges and bitter oranges, grapefruit, clementines made from oranges and bitter oranges, and tangerines, by the way. Tangerines, Mineola from tangerine and grapefruit, Tangor, tangerine and orange, lime and lemon. In the meantime, there have been so many crossbreeds and new breeds that no one can see through anyway, but all of them originally come from the wonderful tangerine of China. The lemon, as I said, was the first to arrive to Europe around the year 1000, but was closely followed by the bitter orange, aka the sour orange. After all, they arrived in Italy in the 11th century, but neither the lemon nor the bitter orange was really a bestseller ever. So, not like, yeah, more like, yay. The sweet orange, which began to take European hearts by storm in the 15th century, was much more successful. In fact, oranges were so revered that many European princes established collections of orange and citrus trees, often in purpose-built orange houses, also called orangeries. These were probably also the first European winter gardens, all thanks to the oranges, which were now socially acceptable in the highest circles. At the latest, when the common rabble began to grow oranges as well, especially in southern Europe, orangeries became more and more out of fashion. And as with many other things that were chic and hip in the Baroque period, the changes could not be stopped here either. Usually, only the name orangery remained for the buildings now used for other purposes. The tangerine itself came to Europe very late. In 1805, Sir Abraham Hume brought them to England from Canton, today the city of Guangzhou, in the Guangdong province, namesake for the word Canton, Guangdong. Canton? Guangdong, but actually means the city of Guangzhou. That was a starting signal for the Mediterranean tangerine and its unstoppable, triumphant advance throughout the world. Tangerines, mandarins, and clementines are now so popular that almost 42 million tons of them were produced in 2021 alone. 25 million tons, or 60% of it, came from China alone. They are mainly imported from Russia, the USA, and Germany. More than 75 million tons of oranges were produced worldwide in 2021, with Brazil being the largest producer country with 16 million tons, followed by India with 10 million tons and China with 7.5 million tons of oranges. However, a large proportion of the oranges produced are exported from Brazil as orange juice concentrate. Here in China you can really see citrus trees in almost every nook and cranny. Also in many private gardens and even in many winter gardens throughout northern China. The popular tangerines, like all other citrus fruits, are almost always very tasty here, especially in the season from autumn to the end of winter, and they are very affordable. They are then available in plentiful supply at farmers markets, supermarkets, and even street stalls, and practically the whole country is boosted with vitamin C. You can see more of the tangerine trees in my video about Shenjia 1, the idyllic village with a wonderful landscape in the middle of the city of Wuxi. I'll show it to you above. Even when I was still living in Germany, tangerines and oranges were always part of the winter season, and they are used in many winter recipes. For me, Christmas is also somewhat linked to it, but the Cinderella among citrus fruits is a bitter orange, a real bitter orange. Even if I personally don't particularly value bitter orange products, such as British orange marmalade with pieces of peel And the liquors, Curacao, Aranciata, Amara, or even Berlin's Mampe Half and Half, or the mostly very sweet perfumes, these products also have many fans. And finally, there is Chinotto Lemonade, so-called Italian cola, and Kini. Both names, Chinotto and Kini, also refer to China, which in turn do not taste bad at all, if you're thirsty enough. And as medicine and tea in form of dried blossoms, bitter orange is also very useful. So bitter orange is okay and can stay. Now I see things with different eyes. Maybe the moon isn't made of pieces of cheese, but maybe a giant tangerine? Maybe we live on a giant orange ourselves. And hopefully it's not actually flat. Hello, flat earthers. Nothing is so flat as this joke. I'm now looking forward to the imminent start of the next tangerine season, and I hope you liked it as much as I did. If so, please subscribe, and if not, please write it in the comments. You can also write in there if you liked it, or if you would like to suggest another topic for the video. Thank you for watching to the end. Until next time, bye bye and 再见，老嘛。